Hello everyone, this is Dr. K. Jagannayaki, Professor in MBA Department, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today I would like to discuss with you about ledger accounts. What is the need for ledger accounts in the business organizations that I am going to discuss with you in this session. So after going through this topic, the learner will be able to understand the meaning of ledger, what is the format of ledger account, what are the available types of ledger and advantages of ledger. So coming to the meaning of ledger, like journal, ledger is also one of the books of accounts. In case of journal, we used to enter the day-to-day transactions. The same transaction we used to post in a ledger. So ledger is the main book or principal book of account. The entries into ledger accounts, the truth, the journal and subsidiary books. So the ledger book contains all accounts, which includes assets, liabilities, incomes or gains, expenses or losses, owner's capital and owner's equity. So the ledger is the book of final entry and hence it is a permanent record. Whereas journal is used to record the day-to-day transactions, which is known as the book of original entry or book of prime entry. There is a systematic way in which transactions are posted into a ledger account. Once the transactions are posted for an accounting period, the ledger accounts are balanced. See, here we used to show two sides of the ledger. One is debit side and other one is credit side. So the difference between debit side and credit side is calculated. Then based on the difference, sometimes we used to say the difference is ultimately prepared, which is used like profit and loss account and balance sheet. Difference carried down, different brought down like that. The same thing we are going to enter in the books final accounts like balance sheet and profit and loss account. So the ledger may also be divided as general ledger and sub ledgers. So while general ledger means it will have all ledger accounts, the sub-ledgers will have individual accounts of customers and suppliers. For example, if there are 10 customers, the general ledger will not have 10 individual accounts for each customer. Instead of these 10 customer accounts will exist in what is called receivables or debtors ledger. And the general ledger will have only one account that represents customers. And this is named as debtors control account. Similar is the case of suppliers account. Such sub-ledgers are necessary for better control over individual accounts. And also this will avoid the general ledger from becoming too big, especially when number of customers and the suppliers is large. So in that case, instead of going for individual accounts, we'll prepare general ledger. Coming to the specimen of a typical ledger account. So this is the format of ledger account. There will be two sides. Left hand side is denoted as debit side and right hand side which is denoted as credit. So the ledger will consist of the following columns. The first one is date column, then particulars which describes the nature of the account, and general folio is that it indicates the page number of the journal where that particular transaction recorded, and the amount on debit side, the same things repeated on the credit side of the ledger. As and when the transactions take place, it is recorded in the journal in the form of journal entry. This entry is posted again in the respective ledger accounts under double entry principle from the journal. This is called ledger posting. So while posting the transactions into a ledger, we should remember some kind of rules. The rules for writing up accounts of various types are as follows. Assets increases on the left hand side or debit side and decrease on the credit side or right hand side. Liabilities, if we find an increase in the liabilities, that should be mentioned on the credit side, And in case if there is a decline in the liabilities, that should be mentioned on debit side. Whereas coming to capital, the same rule applicable, that is to the what we have applied to the liabilities. If you find increase in terms of capital, that should be mentioned on the credit side, and decrease in capital, that should be mentioned on debit side of the ledger. Whereas coming to the expenses, increases on the debit side, decreases on the credit side. Whereas incomes or gain, in that case, increases on the credit side, decrease on the debit side. So while posting financial transactions from journal to ledger, one should remember these rules. To summarize, so this is what I have explained previously. This is the summarized version of all the four types of accounts. Like if you take talking about the assets, increase debit side, decrease credit side. In case of liabilities and capital, increase on the credit side and decrease on debit side. Whereas coming to expenses or losses, increase on debit side, decrease on credit side. Whereas in case of income or gains, decrease should be mentioned on debit side, increase on credit side. So this is the thumb rule one should remember while posting financial transactions in a ledger. At glance, the same further I have simplified like this: debit side, destination where the account and economic benefits reaches or received, and sources from where we'll get the economic benefits, that should be mentioned on credit side. And if you are going to receive something, that should be mentioned on debit side. And if you are paying something to others, then it should be giver. So other way we can express the same: what comes in, that should be mentioned on debit side, what goes out of the organization, that should be mentioned on credit side. All expenses and losses should be mentioned on debit side, all incomes or gains on credit side. So let us understand the mechanism of posting transaction into ledger account. Consider the following transaction: rent paid in cash for 10,000. So the journal entry for this transaction would be on Jan 15th, rent account to cash account. So rent account debited to cash account. So the company or the person, he paid rent worth 10,000 in terms of cash. So the same entry we have to mention in two different accounts. One is rent account, other one is cash account. Now we have to prepare a separate rent account in case of ledger. So already we know what is the specimen of ledger. A debit side and one credit side will be there. Debit side, just enter the date of transaction. So how you have paid about the transaction and how much amount we paid in the debit side, because rent account debtor, so it means debit side. Okay, so Jan 15th we have paid rent in the form of cash account and we paid 10,000. So this is ledger account of rent. Then second, the same transaction we have to mention in another account which is known as cash account. So same format, debtor and credit side we have to mention date, particulars and amount. But if you observe the journal entry, cash account on credit side. So whatever transaction we made, that we have to specify on credit side of the ledger. So same date, the transaction how they paid in the form of rent, how much amount, same 10,000. So that's how we used to post a journal entry in a ledger by indicating the same type of transaction in two different accounts. So this type of accounting system is known as double entry bookkeeping system. Coming to the structure of ledger, in practice, for the sake of convenience and ease of operations, the ledger is subdivided as follows. One is general ledger, another one is sub-ledger. So coming to the general ledger, it contains all main ledger accounts excepting individual accounts of customers, vendors and employees. For these categories, there will be only one representative account in the general ledger. For example, for customers, we'll have trade debtors account or trade receivables control account. Whereas for suppliers, it will be like trade creditors account or trade payables account, etc. Coming to sub ledgers, these are primarily customers ledger, suppliers ledger, employees ledger, etc. So the customer ledger will have all individual accounts of all customers. Suppliers ledger will have all individual accounts of all suppliers. Employee ledger will have individual accounts of all employees. So the balances of all individual accounts must tally with the balance reflected in the representative account in the general ledger. For this, a periodical reconciliation is must. And coming to the subdivisions of ledger, practically the ledger may be divided into two groups. One is personal ledger, another one is impersonal ledger. Personal ledger further divided into two types, debtors ledger and creditors ledger, whereas impersonal it is divided into cash book and general ledger. So general ledger further divided into nominal ledger and private ledger. Coming to the personal ledger, the ledger where the details of all transactions about the persons who are related to the accounting unit are recorded and is called the personal ledger. Whereas impersonal ledger is that where the details of all transactions about assets, incomes and expenses etc. are recorded and it is known as impersonal ledger. Again, personal ledger may be divided into two groups, debtors ledger and creditors ledger. Debtors ledger is that one where the details of transactions about persons to whom goods are sold, cash is received, etc. are recorded and it is known as debtors ledger. The second one is creditors ledger, the ledger where the details of transactions about the persons from whom goods are purchased on credit, paid to them, etc. are recorded and it is known as creditors ledger. The second category is impersonal ledger, may further divided into two groups. One is cash book, another one is general ledger. Cash book means the book where all cash and bank transactions are recorded. That is known as cash book. General ledger, the ledger where all transactions relating to real accounts, nominal accounts, details of debtors ledger and creditors ledger are recorded and it is known as general ledger. So general ledger may again divided into two types, nominal and private ledger. Nominal ledger is that the ledger where all transactions related to incomes and expenditures or expenses are recorded, that is known as nominal ledger. The second one is private ledger, the ledger where all transactions relating to liabilities and assets are recorded and it is known as private ledger. Coming to the advantages of subdivision of ledger. The advantages of subdivision of ledgers are, first one, easy to divide work. So if you are going to divide work as a result of subdivision, the division of work is possible and records can be maintained efficiently by the concerned employee. And second advantage is that easy to handle. As a result of subdivision, the size and volume of ledger is reduced. And third one, easy to collect information. So from different classes of ledger, a particular type of transactions can be easily found out. And fourth one is minimization of mistakes. So as a result, when you are going to subdivide the ledgers, you can easily rectify the mistakes, and also we can make them minimized and easy to compute. As a result of subdivision, the accounting work may be computed quickly, which is very helpful to the management. The next one is fixation of responsibility. Due to subdivision, allotment of different types of work to different employees is done, for which concerned employee will be responsible. Let us discuss one problem first. We'll generalize the following transactions in the books of Gaurav and post same generalized entries into ledger. So generalize the following transactions in the books of Gaurav and post them into ledger for June 2013. On June 1st, Gaurav started business with 10 lakhs rupees, of which 25% amount was borrowed from wife. On June 4, purchased goods from Ankit worth 40,000 at 20% TD and one-fifth of the amount paid in cash. June 7th, cash purchases 25,000. June 10th, sold goods to Vishaka 30,000 worth at 30% TD and received 30% amount in cash. June 12th, deposited cash into bank 20,000. June 15th, uninsured goods destroyed by fire worth 5,500. June 19th, received commission 3,500 and June 22 paid Ankit 25,500 in full settlement of account and June 25th cash stolen from cash bags 1,000. June 27th received from Vishaka 14,500 and discount allowed 200. June 30th interest received 2,400 directly added in our bank account. So let us enter those transactions in the books of journal. So the specimen of journal is like that, which consists of 5 columns. First one is date column, second particulars, third ledger folio, and fourth one amount, debit and credit amount. So let us start with the first transaction, 1st June. Cash account to capital account to loan from wife account. So if you observe the previous slide, the first transaction, Gaurav started business with 10 lakhs, of which 25% amount was borrowed from his wife. So that is the reason we wrote like this: cash account debtor to capital account to loan from wife account. What is the narration? The description of the particular account is being capital brought into business. So total amount invested in the business, that is 10 lakh. So out of which it is credited to 7,50,000 in the form of cash to capital account and remaining 2,50,000 he borrowed from his wife. On 4th June, purchases account debtor to cash account to Ankit account. The transaction is related to goods purchased at 20% TD and one-fifth of amount paid in cash. So total amount paid 32,000, which is debited from your account, and the same credited to cash account 6,400 and rest of the balance 25,600 to Ankit account. On 7th June, purchases account to cash account being cash purchases. So total 25,000 he invested on purchases and he made purchases. So on 10th June, cash account debtor to Visaka's account, debtor to sales account. The transaction is being goods sold at 30% TD and 30% amount received in cash. So that is the reason on the debit side we mentioned 6,300 and 4,700. Total 21,000 credited to Gaurav account. On 12th June, bank account data to cash account being cash deposit in bank. So like this, each and every transaction we used to enter the journal first and just to see that debit amount, credit out both are equal. Then based on this journal entries, now I will show how to post into a ledger. So now this ledger posting, it is based on journal entries. Now here we are going to specify individual accounts. So if you observe the journal, we have cash account, capital account, loan account, then Ankit's account, purchases account, Visakha account, sales account, like that. We'll have different types of accounts. So let us start with cash account. The specimen of ledger, debit side and credit side. On debit side, we used to mention date, particulars, journal folio, and debit amount. On credit side, again date, particulars, journal folio, and amount. So on 1st June to capital account. So whatever transactions we mentioned on debit side. For example, here if you see cash account data to capital account. So that way we have to identify the transactions and just enter those amounts. Debit side, transactions on debit side, credit side, whatever will be there, that should be mentioned on credit side. So in this case, debit side accounts to capital account 7,50,000, to loan from wife 2,50,000, to sales account 6,300, to commission account 3,500, Visakha's account 14,500. So if you add this, the total is 10,24,300. Now the same on credit side, whatever transactions we mentioned in the journal, based on that we entered here. By purchases account 6,400, by purchases account 25,000, by bank account 20,000, by Ankit's account 25,500, by loss by theft 1,000, and by balance carried down. So how much balance they brought carried down from here to there? The difference is 9,46,000. So that way we used to tally this account. See, if you brought down this 9,40,000 here, further we are carry forward, we are taking the same transaction. So as a result, we can see both totals are equal. So that is cash account. The next account is capital account. On 38/6 on debit side, to balance carried down 7,50,000, and whereas on credit side 1st June by cash 7,50,000, and here the balance brought down is the same 7,50,000. The third one is loan from wife account. On 30th June to balance carried down 2,50,000, and on credit side also it remains the same. He brought it by cash, so here the balance remains the same 2,50,000. There is no extra amount. So like that we used to tally both debit and credit totals. And next account is purchases account. On 4th June to cash account, that are 6,400, and on the same day we also have some kind of transactions with Ankit account, and cash payments also he made. So everything we have to enter like this. Individual accounts we have to prepare in the ledger. So based on the journal only, we have prepared Ankit's account separately, Vishakha's account, sales account, bank account, loss by fire account, commission account, and discount account separately, loss by theft account, interest account. So that we'll have complete clarity and the same which is useful in preparing trial balance, so that then the total assets are equal to total liabilities, and based on that The companies may also prepare the financial accounts effectively. So this is the application of ledger postings in the accounting. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.